In this video, I am going to share with you a step-by-step pattern of making this beautiful rose flower stem, which makes an excellent option for a flower bouquet. So let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to DIYkraftZ. For this project, I am using a 4-ply medium weight 100% cotton yarn with 3.5 mm crochet hook. Now let us begin by making a slip knot. For that, make a loop on your hand as shown in the video, and now from the center of the loop, pull up the yarn and make a slip knot. Adjust the loop and let's start making a foundation chain. So yarn over and pull up a loop, and that makes your foundation chain. Put a count and continue to make foundation chain of chain 50. Now after completing all the 50 chains, this is how the foundation chain looks like. Now let's go ahead and start making row 1. Count 4 chains from the hook. We are going to skip 3 chains, and from the 4th chain we are going to make a half double crochet. So to make a half double crochet, begin with yarn over. Now insert the hook into the top loop of the foundation chain, yarn over and pull up a loop from the chain. Now you will have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw the yarn through all the 3 loops at a time. So that makes a half double crochet. Now repeat the same thing one more time and make another half double crochet in the next stitch. So yarn over, insert into the chain and pull up a loop to make 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and complete the stitch, and we are going to make one other half double crochet in the next stitch. Likewise, continue to make half double crochet stitches throughout the row until you reach the first chain, but make sure to make only one half double crochet in each chain, and also all the stitches should be of equal height and should be spaced equally. So here I am making the last half double crochet of row 1, and by the end of this row we will have 47 half double crochet stitches and chain 2 being the first stitch. So total 48 stitches including the starting chain 2. Now begin with chain 3 and turn your work to the back side. We are going to make a double crochet into the first stitch. So yarn over, insert the hook into the first stitch, yarn over and drop a loop. Now you will have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw the yarn through first 2 loops. Then you'll have 2 more loops on the hook, yarn over and complete the double crochet. So here we have chain 3 and 1 stitch both into the same first stitch. Now yarn over, skip the next stitch, and into the later stitch we are going to make a V stitch. So while putting the needle, make sure you put into both front and back loops. Now start by making 1 double crochet stitch into the third stitch, then make chain 1 and into the same stitch make 1 more double crochet. So here DC, chain 1 and DC is considered as a V stitch. Now we are going to make V stitches in every alternative stitch. So skip the next stitch and in the later stitch make 1 V stitch, which means 1 DC, chain 1 and 1 DC. Again skip the next stitch and in the later stitch make 1 V stitch. Now continue to make V stitches throughout the row until you reach the last stitch. And the pattern here looks like an alternative triangles. After repeating it till the end, this is how the second row looks like. So we are making the last V stitch. So make 1 DC, chain 1 and another DC into the same stitch. We will be left with chain 2, but you can ignore that stitch. So now this is the end of the second row. Now let's go ahead and start making the third row. Begin with chain 2, and for this row we are going to ignore this chain 2 as a stitch. After turning your work, identify the chain 1 space that is there in between the V stitch. Yarn over and we are going to make a double crochet into this chain 1 space. So total 5 double crochet stitches into the same space. So now this is the third double crochet, 4 and 5, As I have already shown you how to make a double stitch, I'm making it a little bit faster and I hope you guys can catch up. Now identify the gap in between the two V-stitches and in that gap make one single stitch, and this forms the first petal of the rose. Now identify the chain one gap in the next V-stitch, and in that chain one gap make 5 double crochet stitches. This is the second double stitch. 3, 4 and 5. And now identify the gap in between the V-stitches, and in that gap make one single stitch. Again, see the chain one space in between the V-stitches and make 5 DCs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now in the next gap make one single stitch and continue to make 5 DC into the next chain one space and followed by one single crochet in between the V stitches. And now we are going to repeat this same pattern till the last V stitch. So we'll have 5 DCs in each V stitch, which means each 5 DC makes one petal for our rose flower. So here I am making the last petal for the rose. So make 5 DCs in between the chain 3 and first DC of the second row. And after completing all the 5 DCs, you don't have to make a single stitch. Just at the end make chain 1 and then trim the excess thread, leaving a tail end of up to 3 to 4 inches. We are going to weave in these tail ends. So this forms the base of the rose. Now we have to turn it to give it a shape of the flower. I will show it at the time of assembling. Now put this aside and let's start making the sepal for the flower. For this I am taking a green color yarn, the same material which I have used to make the flower. Begin with a magic ring, just like how we have done the slip knot. We will do it in the same way, but leave a gap before pulling out the starting tail end. Then make chain 1, yarn over and into the center, insert the needle and pull up a loop. Again you are going to make a half double crochet. So that's the first half double crochet. So in order to identify the first stitch, it is recommended for you to mark the first stitch with a stitch marker. However, if you have already know how to crochet and you are aware of how to identify the stitches, you don't have to put a stitch marker. Now repeat the same process. We are going to make a total 6 half double crochet stitches in the center. Now this is the third half double crochet. Yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over and make the fourth half double stitch, fifth one, and then the sixth half double crochet. You can just count again to get it confirmed and then pull the starting tail end so that the hole will be closed completely. You don't have to be so strong to close the hole completely. You can leave a little bit as we are going to insert this into the flower stem. Now remove the stitch marker, insert the hook under the top of the first half double stitch and then make a slip stitch to close the first row. And this circle forms the base of a sepal. Now for the second row we are going to make a sepal points. So begin with chain 6, that's chain 5 and chain 6. Now from the hook leave the first chain and in the next chain begin with one single crochet. So insert and drop a loop and make one single stitch. Now in the next 2 stitches we are going to make a half double crochet. So insert and drop a loop, as you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and draw the yarn through all the 3 loops at a time. So that's 2 half double crochet, and now in the last 2 stitches we are going to make 1 double crochet in each chain. So that's the first half double crochet, and there is one more chain remaining, and in that chain make a second double crochet, and this forms the first point of the sepal. We are going to attach this point to the base of the sepal by making a slip stitch. So insert in the needle into the next stitch and make a slip stitch. And this is how the first sepal is formed. Now we are going to repeat the same pattern to create remaining 5 sepal points of the flower. So begin with chain 6, skip 1 chain from the hook and make 1 single stitch, and then in the next stitch make half double stitch, and we have to do it another time, and in the last 2 chains we have to make 1 double crochet in the last 2 chains in each chain. So that's 2 double crochet stitches, and this forms the second sepal point. Now make a slip stitch onto the next stitch and then repeat this pattern for 4 more times until you reach the starting point. So here I am making the last double crochet of the 6th point, and now insert the hook onto the slip stitch of the previous row to complete the sepal. Then chain 1 and then trim the excess thread, leaving a tail end of 3 to 4 inches, and then fasten off. So this completes the sepal part for the flower, and this one will go under the flower like this. Now put this aside and let's start making the leaf for the rose stem. Begin with a slip knot and then make chain 19. So here in this video I am making a longer leaf, but if you wanted to make a shorter leaf, you can make it with chain 15 or chain 12. Each chain count gives you a different size of the leaf. Now after making chain 19, we are going to take a flower stem or flower wire, which we can use it to give the shape for the leaf to stand out and make a clear visibility on the flower stem. Now hold the flower wire as shown in the video, like we are going to hold it along with the foundation chain, and then we are going to include it while we are working in the foundation chain. Now skip 1 chain from the hook and into the next chain insert the crochet hook into the top loop of the chain and make sure the wire is sitting on the crochet hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop and make 1 single stitch. Now in the next stitch make another single stitch, so that's 2 single crochet. Now in the next 2 stitches we are going to make half double crochet, so that's first half double stitch. Into the next chain make another half double stitch, so 2 single stitch, 2 half double stitch, and now in the next 10 stitches we are going to make 1 double crochet in each chain, so that's the second double stitch, and then in the next one this is the third double stitch. So when you are reducing the size of your leaf, make sure you are reducing the number of double crochet stitches you are working on your leaf and not the single and half double crochet, because single and half double crochet will give you the shape of the leaf. Okay, if you are making chain 15 for the leaf, the number of double crochet stitches will come down to 6. Now I am making the 9th double crochet, and then in the next chain we are going to make the 10th double stitch. Now all the 10 stitches are completed. We will be left with 4 more chains on the foundation chain. Now in the next 2 chains we are going to make 1 half double crochet, so drop a loop and make the first half double stitch, and in the next chain make another half double crochet. So adjust the wire in such a way that the middle part of the wire comes with the exact edge of the foundation chain. Now after the 2 half double crochet stitches in the last 2 chains we are going to make 2 single crochet stitches. This completes the first half of the leaf. Now chain 1, and then we are going to work on the other side of the foundation chain. So carefully adjust the starting tail end, yarn over and pull up a loop and make 1 single stitch, so that the single stitch comes onto the other side of the wire instead of the same side as the previous stitch. So insert the hook, So the other side of the wire will be on the needle. Drop a loop and make one single stitch. So in the last chain we have one single stitch on to the front side and one single stitch on to the other side. Now into the next chain, insert the hook and make one other single stitch. So here we are working on the other side of the foundation chain, and we are going to repeat the same pattern. We have already done 2 single crochet stitches, and in the next 2 stitches we are going to make half double crochet stitches. So that's the first half double stitch, and in the next stitch second half double stitch, and then in the next 10 chains we are going to make 1 double crochet in each chain. And while working on the other side of the foundation chain, I am including the starting tail end along with the wire so that I don't have to weave in after completing the project. So one of the work will be reduced, right? So just put a count on how many stitches we are doing and then continue to make 10 double crochet stitches so that you will be left with only 4 stitches. Now make that, so that's the 10th double stitch. So if you see the shape of the leaf, and this is how it looks like. Now we have 4 more stitches. We are going to make 2 half double crochet stitches and then 2 single stitches. So that's 1 half double stitch, and in the next stitch there is another half double stitch. And now in the last 2 stitches make 1 single stitch in each stitch. Now insert the hook onto the top of the first single stitch like as shown in the video. Now yarn over and make 1 slip stitch to join the both sides of the leaf. Now this completes the leaf pattern, so make chain 1 and then trim the excess thread, leaving a tail end of approximately 6 to 7 inches. And now this tail end we are going to wrap it around the wire that is left seen after completing the leaf pattern. Now with the help of this wire, this leaf will take the shape of as required. Now to seal the leaf, twist the flower wire as shown in the video to approximately 1 to 2 inches of length, and then using the tail end that we have left behind after completing the pattern, we are going to wrap it around the wire so that it doesn't look awkward. Even though if it is looking in green color, if you wrap it with the yarn, it looks something different and neat. Once it is done, you can just secure the bottom part, or you can secure it by putting a glue on it. Now let's assemble the rose. I am going to use a flower stick or the flower wire, but before that let's do the finishing part. We are going to hide the finishing tail ends from the sepal and also from the rose flower. So with the help of a tapestry needle, hide the tail end into couple of stitches and then trim the excess thread close to the project. And we are going to repeat the same thing with the finishing tail end of the rose flower. So just hide it into a couple of stitches and then trim the excess thread close to the project. You can leave the starting tail ends because we are just going to put them into the assembling part. Now to attach it or to assemble it, you can use a Fevibond kind of super glue, or you can even use a hot glue gun. So put a glue on the starting line of the rose and just with the help of a glue attach it and twist the flower stem in such a way this forms a nice spiral rose. Make sure that all the half double crochet stitches will come one above the other while you are turning the flower stem. So for every couple of stitches we are going to put a glue and then secure it, and then this process you have to continue till the end. This is a satisfying process, and also we have to be doing it very carefully. And for the last petal, we are going to attach it on the top part as well. Now with the help of a glue, we are going to secure the starting tail end. Now take the sepal part, insert the flower stem from the bottom and then bring it close to the flower. Now secure the starting tail end of the green color yarn with the stem. Now we are going to attach the sepal points to the flower as shown in the video. Don't attach it completely, leave the last single crochet stitches so that the single crochet stitches will make it look like a small curvaceous. And now to give the final finishings and also to attach the leaf, I'm going to use the green color yarn and twist the flower stem, and when it is the place where we have to attach the leaf, hold the stem along with the flower wire and continue to wrap the stick with the green color yarn. Secure it with some more glue at the last, and with this your crochet rose flower stem is completed. I hope you all enjoyed watching this tutorial. Do give this pattern a try and let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. The written pattern is given in the description. Do check it out. Don't forget to share your work to me on Instagram. See you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, share it and subscribe to DIYkraftZ.